Alright, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is 15 Secrets the Vatican Doesn't Want You to Know. Alright, it's come from the channel The Unknown List. Let's check it out. Go and jump into it.
Why did the Pope drag a corpse into the dock? What
into
happened
the
to
docks?
the millions that simply disappeared from the Vatican?
Okay.
And what does the Catholic Church really know about the approaching end of the world? Are
Probably
you ready
nothing.
to open the door to the dark side of the Vatican with us and dive into a world of shady intrigues and murderous machinations? Then hit the like and subscribe buttons and be sure to stay tuned until the end.
Alright, we're here.
VatiLeaks 1.0. In 2011 and 2012, the Pope's valet, Paolo Gabriele, smuggled numerous secret documents out of the Vatican, which plunged the Catholic Church into an unprecedented crisis.
Where are they at?
In this regard, there was talk of corruption, nepotism, and mismanagement. But that was by no means all. In addition, there was also said to be a secret lobby in the Vatican. In detail, the men would meet in a secluded villa, in a sauna, or a beauty salon to cultivate their ecclesiastically forbidden contacts. Sentenced in October 2012 to 10.
Well, listen, as of right now, I'm not surprised by any of these things, okay? If you were talking about their millions of dollars that have gone missing, and then someone sneaks out documents, and the documents are stating that there are, issues with corruption, nepotism, all of these things mean, listen, all of these things make sense completely.
10 months in prison for grand theft, Paolo Gabriele would be pardoned and released by Benedict XVI in December of the same year. VatiLeaks 2.0.
More leaks.
A few years later, however, the next earthquake drove through the ranks of the Catholic Church. In 2015, piquant details came to light that had been uncovered in the course of an audit.
Okay.
Published in two books by journalists Emiliano Fittipaldi and Gianluigi Nuzzi, the Vatican repeatedly recorded shady income and, in some breath, squandered amounts in the millions.
Millions.
Some of the money apparently flowed into luxury apartments, business-class flights, tailor-made clothing, and sinfully expensive furniture. And even apart from that, the spending raised gigantic question marks. During an inventory of food and other everyday items, goods worth 1.6 million euros were missing. In addition, funds that were actually intended for charitable organizations were misappropriated and diverted into the Vatican's pocket.
Hey guys, I'm actually not surprised by this at all. If you guys don't know, at least I live half the year in Europe, and I can definitely tell you, this has been since 2015, and yeah, there's a lot of nepotism. It seems everywhere. Okay, I live in Spain specifically, and I can just tell you, you're not going to get certain jobs at all. You're not going to get certain positions at all, unless you are related directly to someone. Yeah, that's a thing. Also, there's consistently corruption, okay? Consistently, everywhere you look, okay? Everywhere you look, someone is trying to put money into their own pockets. That's just a reality. I don't know if this is just something inherently there like that, guys, but there's way too much corruption. So does it surprise me that the Vatican is hiding money? Does it surprise me that they only really focus on nepotism? No.
Exorcism.
Okay.
What for most of us is no more than a disturbing relic from the Middle Ages is still firmly anchored in the ranks of the Catholic Church today.
Right.
Exorcisms. Currently, the International Association of Exorcists is represented in about 30 countries, all with the highly official blessing of the Pope, of course.
Of course.
If you like, Gabriel Amworth was the undisputed king of demon vanquishers. Active as an exorcist of the Diocese of Rome from 1986, the Italian is said to have driven out the devil and his henchmen more than 100,000 times.
Is any of it on video? I'd love to see it.
According to Amworth, the causes of possession can be quite different. For example, one could fall into the sights of satanic creatures by calling upon spirits, laying tarot cards, or having one's fortune told. But yoga, and even the Harry Potter books, would in truth have an anti-Christian character.
Right.
Secrets of Fatima.
That sounds so stressful, bro.
It is July 13th, 1917, when three simple shepherd children experience something that puts not only themselves, but also the entire Catholic Church in bright turmoil. At that time, the Blessed Virgin Mary had appeared, revealing to the children three secrets that corresponded to a direct insight into the terrifying destiny of the world. However, it would take until 1941 before the public learned of this mystical Marian apparition. Even more, the third secret was stored even up to the year 2000 in a sealed envelope in the Vatican archives. In terms of content, the visions that the shepherd children went through could not have been more disturbing. First, they glimpsed a blazing hell, seeing a gigantic sea of fire in which the souls of sinners were incessantly tortured. The second secret contained a warning of a devastating war that would break out unless people stopped mocking God. The third and longest-kept secret then showed the children how the Pope would stride through the ruined corpse-strewn world and ultimately be struck down by a group of soldiers.
Okay. Whoa.
Evidence of aliens. If one follows a not entirely uncontroversial account, Russian scientist Gengry Ludwig was given a unique opportunity in the 1920s to study the hidden documents of the Vatican secret archives. The manuscripts he examined there, however, had absolutely nothing to do with the official version of the Bible. Instead, the text told of extraterrestrial intelligences that came to Earth in ancient times and paved the way for man's rise to civilization. From the ancient Egyptians to the Mayan culture, there was practically no people at the time who were not in contact with extraterrestrial visitors. Furthermore, he read about a fiery pillar that wiped out an advanced ancient civilization. From the descriptions, Ludwig concluded that it must have been a nuclear weapon explosion. Disturbing process.
Now listen, there are a lot of things that happened many, many thousands of years ago that we just cannot, in fact, quantify, guys. We can't. Aliens, though. I like the idea of aliens because it sparks my sci-fi obsessed brain, guys, right? But I think the people just did it. I think that they just did it. It was a bunch of men building things. I'm telling you. All right. Times were different, massively different. Okay. I think they just did it. Yeah, does it seem impossible? I think many, many, many people lost their existence, okay, through a lot of these gigantic megastructures of our past. Okay. But I do think that we did it.
In January of 897, ex-Pope Formosus unexpectedly found himself in the dock. The accusations? The election of the Pope had been illegitimate, and he had also broken an oath. The problem? The accused had already been dead for 9 months at the time of the trial. A circumstance, however, that did not prevent his successor,
it's a very famous story when they put a corpse on trial,
Stephen VI, from having the body exhumed, dressing it in papal vestments, and finally planting it on the throne.
Yeah.
After a macabre 3-day procedure, the deceased was lawfully condemned and deposed.
Okay, right.
Buried in the stranger's burial ground in Rome, dug up again, and finally thrown into the Tiber River. For the accuser, Stephen VI, however, the subsequent triumph was short-lived. He was overthrown and killed a few months after the corpse trial.
I mean,
the Apocrypha.
Think about that for a second. It's a little nuts, bro.
In 1684, the Vatican decided to remove 14 books from the Bible. What the true background of this drastic step was is still uncertain today. Some believe that the Apocrypha were banned from the Bible because they were not compatible with Christian ideas. And indeed, of some writings that the Church rejects, we know that they present the Lord and Savior in a completely different light.
And this is the thing that always interested me. It's just if you're going to have faith in something, I want you to have that, right? Absolutely. If you need that in your life to exist and have a moral, meaningful life, I need you to exist within that faith. Absolutely. Don't care what it is at all, right? But you probably should want all of it, right? If there's any more information, you should probably want every aspect of that, that book, right? Regardless of if it changes a thought or a theory, it is what it is, right? I mean, that's just, you would want the truth. If you're going to dedicate your life to something, you should want all of it. Okay, just a thought.
For example, in the infancy gospel, according to Thomas, we learn that Jesus was an unruly boy who even killed one of his friends at a quarrel. Secret court. Not even the Church knows what charges are really tried in the so-called apostolic penitentiary. It is commonly believed, however, that this secret tribunal is called whenever a person has committed a, quote, heinous crime.
Okay.
This could be a priest violating the seal of confession or someone who has physically assaulted the Pope. But cases of abortion also end up before the apostolic penitentiary. Ultimately, only the Pope can absolve the accused of his sins or permanently expel him from the community of faith. Nazi escape helpers. After the end of World War II, many Nazis made off to go into hiding on the other side of the world. In detail, the escape routes mostly led via Italy or Spain to South America, mainly to Argentina. And to this day, there is heated debate about the extent to which the Vatican was involved in organizing the Nazi escape. A report by the American Intelligence Service indicates that some notable Croatian fascists visited the Vatican, and from there were smuggled into the Croatian National Church in Rome. Moreover, travel documents exist that suggest the pressing conclusion that the Vatican helped the Nazis leave the country. However, the Catholic Church has declined to comment on these allegations.
Why would they? Bro, why would they say anything? Okay, like I'm definitely, in fact, a history nerd, completely, and space nerd, right? All types of nerds, bottled up in one fat nerd. Here's the thing, guys, all right? The intriguing aspect of this is, does it surprise me? Would it surprise me that they did that? I think it would. I think it would surprise me. I've never heard this story. I don't know how much hearsay this is, guys, right? Honestly, I've never heard this before. If that's the case, oh my God. All right. Why would they ever say anything about this? Like, yeah, you know what we did? Well, we helped them. We helped the mustache people. We did that. They're not saying that.
Genocide in Rwanda.
Oh my God.
Between April and July 1994, approximately 800,000 to 1 million people were killed in Rwanda.
Right.
The members of the Hutu caused a cruel massacre in the Tutsi minority. And until today, there is debate about the complicity of the Catholic Church in this horrible genocide.
Explain.
What is certain is that the Catholic Church maintained close contacts with President Juvenal Habyarimana at the time, and that many mass executions were carried out in churches. For example, the priest Anathes Thrombe lured 2,000 people into a church, only to have the building demolished by a bulldozer. The survivors were subsequently shot by Hutu soldiers.
Right.
In the aftermath, dozens of clergy were to be indicted for their involvement in the genocide. While Pope John II still denied any complicity, 20 years later, Pope Francis officially asked for forgiveness.
I think that's confirmation. That's confirmation. Absolutely. Okay. Like, what type of, like, I don't care about the faith aspect of it, but like, what type of person? You're running an organization that is meant to be specifically moral, the highest level of ethics you could possibly have, right? And then you then are in cahoots with the ruler of a country that is looking to just completely wipe out a group of people because of the shape of their noses, bro. Like, I want you guys to understand the depths of this issue here. Obviously, Rwanda was colonized, and said colonizer separated people basically by eye and nose shape, and they called them Hutu or Tutsi, right? And then obviously the at the time the Tutsis were ruling. Those were basically the good guys to the previous colonizer. Then obviously the colonizer leaves eventually, and then what happens is the Hutus that were basically being treated terribly the entire time because they were the lesser group, allegedly, pretty much based off of the shape and their eyes and nose. They then do what? Try to annihilate the Tutsis, guys. Yeah. And then the church steps in and is just like, yeah, don't worry about it. You can use our churches to get them out, to wipe them off the map. Bro, are you joking? You apologize? Oh my God. Okay. That's a heavy one. That's a wild, guys. That's a wild one right there, to be honest. I honestly hope that no one has faith at all in that country because of that. Okay, that may sound crazy, but I think that you should probably get rid of it. All right. in that specific instance. Like it wouldn't even be crazy to believe that was like on a lot of people's minds. I'm not sure when this information came out, but oh my God. Okay.
Pope Joan. The following basic requirements must be met to become Pope. One must be Catholic, unmarried, and male. It is precisely this last point that forms the starting point of the centuries-old legend. In truth, John VIII is said to have been a woman. Between the years 872 and 882 in the office, this assumption circulates already at least since the 13th century. The problem? Whether the ominous Pastina Joanna, in this form, really existed, and cannot be proved from a scientific view. As a result, the majority of experts believe that the myth has no real core.
Okay.
Coronavisor. Alien skulls, diabolical magic books, and a functioning time machine. When it comes to the questions of those mystical objects slumbering in the Vatican secret archives, the imagination of the internet knows no bounds. The legendary Coronavisor is...
Oh, the Coronavisor. This is an old story. I know of this one. Basically, like a viewer of sorts, like a pair of glasses or something like that.
Said to have been among the forbidden artifacts stored there. Allegedly developed with the help of renowned scientists such as Wernher von Braun and Enrico Fermi, it would be a device that opens an optical window into the past.
Fermi.
Despite all official evidence, the Coronavisor has already been used to observe the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The machine is capable of capturing the electromagnetic waves of the past and making them visible. The Duplessis
old story.
In the 1940s and 1950s, numerous Canadian children in the province of Quebec were placed in psychiatric institutions, although they were actually perfectly healthy. The background? The corresponding institutions were much better subsidized by the government than orphanages. Okay. While the government subsidy for an orphan was $1.25 per day, it was $2.75 for a psychiatric patient. Named after then Prime Minister Maurice Duplessis. Many children were thus deliberately misclassified in order to collect additional funds.
Right.
In the process, a total of 7 church religious congregations were involved in running the facilities in question. Later, more than 50% of the pitiful children claimed to have been physically...
Did you just call them pitiful, bro? What happened? They're not pitiful. Bro, fix your mouth.
Later, more than 50% of the pitiful children claimed to have been physically, mentally, or abused during their stay. Electric shocks and lobotomies were also allegedly performed on the healthy patients.
Wow.
Mysterious death. It is August 26, 1978, when Albino Luciano is elected the 263rd Pope. But just 33 days later, Luciano, who henceforth went by the name John Paul I, was no longer alive. Officially, his body was found in bed with a smile on his face. However, there is still a great deal of guesswork about the exact cause of death, which is primarily due to the fact that the Vatican strictly refuses an autopsy of the corpse. Against this background, many people believe that John Paul I did not die a natural death.
Okay.
Thus, the church leader is to have played with the thought to uncover the corrupt machinations of the Vatican Bank. Because of this, he was insidiously poisoned. The theories, which bring the incident with the Jesuits, the Freemasons, or even with extraterrestrials in connection, sound still more crazy. Thus, still on the night of death, UFOs were sighted over Rome. Thank you very much for watching. Leave us very gladly a thumbs up and a subscription there. In order to experience soon more over the most frightening machinations.
Listen. Hold the phone, buddy. Some of these were absolutely intriguing. Okay. Obviously the Rwanda one was probably the one that was the most, wild to me. Some of them were also equally crazy. If there was a woman pope, I don't know, maybe. Guys, right? I mean, why can't they be popes? I get it, it's the rules, but that's a wild rule, personally. But that's a wild rule. But all right, listen, guys, we're here for that. either way. Listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. You guys tell me in the comments which one was the one that surprised you the most. The Corona Visor one is obviously super intriguing, and it's definitely worth you checking out if you have not actually checked that one out yet before, though, guys. All right? But all right, I'll catch you guys later. Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.